Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK today. I hope you all are doing very well, and today we'll be discussing the most important MCQs for 20th of April 2024. Since it's a weekend, we will not have any revision session, rather we will cover more number of questions. Okay, let's start with our session. The first question is, recently who won the National Women's Carom title for the 12th time? This is 3-time world champion Rashmi Kumari. She secured her 12th National Women's Singles title at the 51st National Carom Championship, and she has defeated K. Naga Jyoti. Okay, so in the men's category, K. Srinivas clinched his 4th national singles title by defeating S. Aditya, showcasing exceptional skills with 7 white slams. Okay, so who won the National Women's Carom title for the 12th time? Answer is Rashmi Kumari by defeating whom? K. Naga Jyoti. And if you talk about the National Men's Carom title, the winner is K. Srinivas, and he has won this title by defeating S. Aditya. Okay. Recently, which state is leading in implementing the Green Credit Program with over 500 land parcels for the tree plantation? This is the state Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is leading in implementing the Green Credit Program with 500 plus approved land parcels for the tree plantation in across 10 states in just 2 months. Okay, so 10,000 hectares of land are earmarked for this purpose, and MP has the highest approved degraded forest land, that is 954 hectares. Then it is followed by Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat and Assam. Okay, so public sector undertakings will carry out the plantations to earn the green credit, and the program focuses on ecosystem services, promoting non-carbon environmental actions benefiting the local soil, water and ecosystem. Okay, here correct answer is C option, Madhya Pradesh. Next is, recently which country has become the first country to roll out a vaccine for meningitis? This country is Nigeria. Nigeria leads the global fight against this disease by introducing the groundbreaking Men5CV vaccine, which is endorsed by the World Health Organization, targeting 5 strains in just one shot. And this surpasses the previous vaccines, which are vital as bacterial meningitis prevalent in Africa because it poses serious health risk. Actually, this disease is facing escalating cases with a 50% rise reported last year by WHO, and Nigeria's pioneering move sets a precedent for broader adoption worldwide, which marks a significant stride in public health, right? So Nigeria became the first country to roll out a vaccine for meningitis. Recently, which Indian stadium becomes the first BCCI accredited venue with a new hybrid pitch? This is Himachal Pradesh Cricket Association Stadium, and it becomes the first BCCI accredited venue with a groundbreaking hybrid pitch by the Netherlands based SIS Grass, that is SIS Grass. Okay, and this innovation combines the natural turf with 5% polymer fiber, which is endorsed by the ICC for T20 and 50 over matches. And this pitch promises resilience, durability and consistent bounce, which eases the maintenance burden. And this universal machine has been employed in Dharamshala, and it will replicate this technology in Ahmedabad and Mumbai as well, following the successful installations at iconic English grounds like Lord's and the Oval. Okay, so Himachal Pradesh Cricket Association Stadium becomes the first BCCI accredited venue with a new hybrid pitch. Okay, next is, recently who has become the first English woman to be honored as Wisden's leading cricketer in the world? This is Nat Sciver-Brunt, and she is the first England woman who has been honored as Wisden's top cricketer. Also, we have to remember that Harry Brook and Mark Wood also named among the Wisden's 5 cricketers of the year. Fine. So here correct answer is C option, Nat Sciver-Brunt. According to the Airports Council International, which airport has been named among the world's top 10 busiest airports for 2023? In 2023, the Indira Gandhi International Airport that lies in Delhi has secured a spot among the world's top 10 busiest airports, with Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport leading the list. Fine. So Indira Gandhi International Airport has been ranked at 10th position, and this airport saw significant traffic amidst a global total passenger forecast near to 8.5 billion, and this marks a notable recovery of 93.8% from the pre-pandemic levels, which highlights the resurgence in air travel post COVID-19. And the list was released by the Airports Council International, which reflects a promising trend in global aviation, right? So Indira Gandhi International Airport has been named among the world's top 10 busiest airports for 2023 from India. Recently, where was the 23rd session of United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues held? So the 23rd session of the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues recently convened in New York, advising the United Nations Economic and Social Council since its establishment in 2000. Okay, so it addresses various indigenous concerns like development, culture, environment, education, health and human rights, and the forum's role includes providing expert guidance to the United Nations, which fosters awareness and it coordinate the activities and disseminate the information. Fine. So what is the venue for the 23rd session of United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues? Answer would be New York. Next is, recently where was an international humanitarian conference for Sudan held? So an international humanitarian conference convened in Paris recently. Basic aim is to help Sudan amidst the conflict between its army and the rebel paramilitary groups. So it was organized by France, Germany and the European Union in response to the United Nations appeal, and it drew total representatives from 58 states, regional organizations like the African Union and the NGOs. So this event sought funds to assist Sudan and neighboring nations, and the notable attendees included, for example, United Nations agencies, the World Bank, IMF and the Arab Development Bank. Okay, so what was the venue for International Humanitarian Conference for Sudan? Answer would be Paris. Now these days Lake Kariba is in news. Can you tell me, Lake Kariba is located between which two countries? So it lies between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Fine. It is the world's largest man-made reservoir also, and it faces a drastic water level decline. Why? Because of El Nino drought. Okay, it is situated between Zambia and Zimbabwe, and it spans 1300 kilometers upstream from the Indian Ocean. It was created by the Kariba Dam, which took 3 years to complete in 1959. It is a crucial power source for both the countries, and it sustains a vibrant fishing industry in both the countries as well. You can be asked that Lake Kariba that was recently seen in the news is located between which two countries? Answer would be Zambia and Zimbabwe. Next is, Ahmed Abdullah Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah recently became the new Prime Minister of which country? He has been appointed as the Kuwait's new Prime Minister, and he has succeeded Sheikh Mohammed Sabah Al-Salim. Okay, so this follows the election of Kuwait's 4th Parliament since December 2020, and Sheikh Ahmed held various key positions, like he was Minister of Finance earlier, and also he was the chairman of Burgan Bank. And Kuwait's political system prohibits the parties, but it allows a relatively open environment with the Emir holding ultimate authority. Fine. So who's the new Prime Minister of Kuwait country? Answer would be Ahmed Abdullah Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah. Next is Mykolas Alekna, who recently broke the longest standing men's world record in the discus throw, belongs to which country? He is from Lithuania, and recently he broke the men's discus throw world record in USA with a throw of 74.35 meters. He has surpassed Jurgen Uskul's 38-year-old record of 74.08 meters. Fine. So his record breaking throw came on his 5th attempt securing his place in the athletics history? Here correct answer is the option Lithuania. Next is Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, who recently announced his resignation, belongs to which country? So he is from Singapore, and he will be resigning on 15th of May 2024. And who would be the new Prime Minister of Singapore? It would be the Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. Okay, he is the world's highest paid leader as well, and he will earn 2.2 million Singapore dollars yearly. Talking about Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, he became the PM in 2004, and Lawrence Wong will be sworn in as the Singapore's 4th Prime Minister on 15th of May 2024. Fine. Here correct answer would be Singapore. Next is, recently the government of Uttar Pradesh has constructed state's first ever glass skywalk bridge in which district? So Tulsi waterfall in Chitrakoot welcomes the first glass skywalk bridge in UP, which resembles Lord Rama's bow and arrow, which cost nearly 3.7 crore rupees. It was constructed in Kodant forest area by the Forest and Tourism Department and the Pawan Sood Construction Company, and it is part of a plan to develop the site into a premier ecotourism destination. It has a load capacity of 500 kilograms, and the bridge offers panoramic views of the waterfall as well. Fine. Here correct answer would be Chitrakoot. It is 500 kgs per square meter. Next is Tiger Hill, which was recently seen in the news, is a part of which wildlife sanctuary in the state of West Bengal? So the Eastern Zonal Bench of the National Green Tribunal in Kolkata has issued some notices to the key union and state government departments along with the Darjeeling district administration regarding the degradation of Tiger Hill's environment, and it lies in Senchal Wildlife Sanctuary. So this Tiger Hill is renowned for its sunrise views over Mount Kanchenjunga, and it is a part of Senchal Wildlife Sanctuary that was established in 1915, and it is crucial for Darjeeling's water supply. Okay, correct answer is A option, Senchal Wildlife Sanctuary. Now apart from it, the Bharat Electronics Limited has recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the IIT Mandi, Himachal Pradesh, for collaboration in research and technology. And this MOU focuses on different semiconductors, quantum technologies and the drones. Basic aim is to strengthen the synergies between BEL and IIT Mandi and to improve the quality and range of solutions that BEL provides to its customer. Also, this MOU supports the indigenization of the products and a solution which is supplied by BEL to its customers, and it is in line with the Government of India's Make in India initiative. Fine. You can be asked that Bharat Electronics Limited recently signed a memorandum of understanding with which institution for cooperation in the research and technology? Answer would be IIT Mandi. Next is, which day is celebrated as World Hemophilia Day every year? This day is observed annually on 17th of April, and it raises awareness about hemophilia and the bleeding disorders. It highlights the rare blood disorders' impact on clotting and prolonged bleeding due to clotting factor deficiency. This year the theme is equitable access for all. Okay, and it underscores universal treatment access regardless of condition, gender, age or location. Basic aim is the inclusive care for individuals with inherited bleeding disorders and honoring the community volunteers, right? So when do we observe the World Hemophilia Day? Answer is 17th of April. What is the theme for this year? Equitable access for all. Now the last question is, who becomes the first Indian to venture into space as a tourist on the NS-25 mission of Blue Origin? This is Gopi Thotakura, and he is said to make history as the first Indian space tourist on Blue Origin's NS-25 mission that was founded by Jeff Bezos. And the space tourism offers recreational or business space travel. It is divided into suborbital and the orbital trips. The suborbital flights briefly breach the Kármán line before returning to Earth like NS-25, and the orbital trips go farther, allowing for the stays of days to weeks at around 1.3 million feet altitude, and it is exemplified by SpaceX's 2021 mission. Okay, So Gopi Thothakura is the first Indian to venture into space as a tourist on the NS-25 mission of Blue Origin. Now these days Derek Underwood is in news. Can you tell me why? Because he has died. He has recently passed away. He claimed 297 wickets in 86 test matches and 2,465 wickets in 676 first class cricket games. So he held the presidency of Marylebone Cricket Club, that is MCC, in the year 2008. Also he was honored with induction into the ICC Hall of Fame in the year 2009. So his legacy extends beyond his remarkable achievements on the field, leaving an indelible mark on cricket history, right? You can be simply asked that Derek Underwood, who recently passed away, was associated with which sport? Your answer would be cricket, okay? So these are the most important current affairs and the news from today. And now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nusrat Sana signing off.